people of Ireland. Over the last few days, we have been addressed by different political parties on the current state of our nation. So today I sit in front of you and address you on behalf of the self-employed political party, because for far too long now what we are seeing is just total baloney. Our VAT take is down, our tax intake is down, our social welfare is up, our unemployment is up, and the morale of the people of Ireland has never been at such a low. So today I am going to give you alternatives on how easy it is to fix the current problem that we are in right now. In business, we have a very simple philosophy. It is money in versus money out. And in order to run the country, the politicians of this land must start running our country like a business. Money in versus money out. To make it simple, what the politicians have done over the last 4 to 5 years and probably beyond is they look at our economy like an hourglass. And what they are doing is when they see the sand seeping through, they're trying to pump more sand into it. Well, politicians, listen to me. If you fix the hole, you won't need any more sand. We have one colossal issue in this country, and that is our social welfare system. And this is what we need fixing. We've got 3 groups of people. We have the unemployed, we've got the government, and we have got the small self-employed person. All 3 of us have an issue. The unemployed want to work. The government are paying too much out on social welfare. And the self-employed person wants to hire people, but we cannot hire people because we cannot afford it. To make this easily understood, I have brought my 2 friends with us. We have our man here who was on the dole. We have our government that are paying him social welfare. And we have me, the self-employed person, which there are hundreds of thousands of me throughout this country. It's okay, Micheál Martin fumbled over his words too. Now, if this man is collecting 250 to 300 euro per week on social benefits, the government is paying all this. So instead of the government giving this person the 300 euro a week, you give him 0. Instead, the government gives me 150 euro. And I give this person an extra 250 euro. So this person is now earning 400 euro and has got his dignity back, or her dignity back, by working again. The government has saved half of the social welfare immediately, and I can afford to hire somebody, which I desperately want to do, but I cannot because of the way social partners have agreed the Croke Park deal. So it is simple. Winner, winner and winner. Everybody wins. That is how easy it is. And the reason why you won't do it is because you're too busy fumbling over yourselves and not taking your fingers out and just doing it. That is the point 1 on social welfare. Secondly, that there are people in this country, and we all know it and don't deny it, there are people in this country that are claiming social welfare benefits that are far outweighing what people are earning on the minimum wage. So from now on, the self-employed party, we are going to tax you. We are going to tax you on the benefits that you are earning. So now you're actually going to come out with less than the person who's out there working. And I'm going to tax you at 5% higher than what the person who's earning a minimum wage is, just to show you that we do not reward people who do nothing. We want to reward people who are out there working their ass off, keeping this country running. The self-employed party will get rid of all spin doctors. They will get rid of all spokespeople, and they will get rid of everybody behind the scenes that writes speeches for them. Why? Because we want to tell you the truth. And when you think about what I just said, these are people who are fabricating stories for our politicians to tell us. So if I don't know the answer to your question, I'll tell you I don't know, and I'll get back to you. But we will get rid of all that crap behind the scenes and talk to you direct and honestly. Another major problem that we have in this country is that mothers and fathers are saying goodbye to their sons and daughters to go travel abroad because there is no work for them here in this country. So what I propose as the self-employed party is this. It's simple. It's back to basics. It's back to what I did, it's back to what most of you did, and it's what we need to get our youth doing today. You finish school, you finish college, and you go work. And screw the minimum wage, okay? Because what you learn from experience will far outweigh any salary that can be given to you. You need to understand that to have something in life, you must work hard for it. Okay, you don't get things handed to you because you piss and moan and because you cry that you want them given to you. You've got to go out there and work hard for it. This is what has made people of this country strong entrepreneurs, is because they have worked their asses off. And they know exactly what it's like to make sacrifices. They have cleaned toilets right up to the top. That's what you have to do. And this is what the youth need to do coming out of college. So you don't go in and ask for a minimum wage. You go in and you ask for your job and be grateful to get that job. The employer should be allowed to pay you whatever you want without clearly abusing you. Nobody should be abused. But a €200 salary per week is plenty for somebody who's coming out of college on their first or second or third year. About 15 years ago, I came out of college and my salary at the time was €180 per week. That's what I was working out at, converted into old money into euro. I managed to save and buy a house on that. That house today is worth the exact same now as to what it was when I first bought it. So it can be done. And if you don't want to go off and buy your house straight away, the money that you can take in will seriously help out your parents at home, and that is why we need to start addressing this immediately. The people of the country can stay here and work. There has never been a better time in this nation right now than to fight the unions. And listen to me very carefully on this one, because this is something we need to do. The Croke Park Agreement is bananas, plain and simple. I said to you earlier on why self-employed people cannot afford to hire somebody, and it's because of the minimum wage. Now, I know this could be a touchy subject with a lot of people, but I'm talking about new people coming into the workforce. We cannot afford to pay the minimum wage. It's simply out of our hands. We can't do it. This needs to be scrapped. I'm telling you why we can tell the unions to trot on once and for all. You have your rights here in this country. You do not need to pay membership to somebody who's supposedly going to represent you. You do not need to do that. Behind all these scenes, when they're arguing for their cases of their increases and everything, they're doing it for themselves and the top civil servants in this country. That's why they're doing it, not for the man and the woman who's on the street. Okay? We have an organisation in this country called NERA, the National Employment Rights Association. Okay? These guys are coming into the small self-employed people trying to find out, are we paying the staff the right amount, are we giving them this, are we giving them that? So NERA now becomes the Union of Ireland. Simple. Anybody who has a problem with their employer can contact the government, because these rights are yours anyway and they're free. You do not need to be paying for it. And when the government find an employer that is abusing his staff, well, then they come down on them tenfold and squash it straight away. So the employer is not going to take any chances. And we will make sure that the legislation and your rights are as clear as day on a website or on a Facebook page or anything, so that anybody can understand it. And if you have difficulties understanding it, then all you have to do is contact that organisation. We do not need unions in this country, and now is the time to get rid of them. Trust me. Our minimum wage, as I have said, is just crazy, and it is preventing. The sooner we accept this and realise this, the sooner we can get on with this. If you want to stick your head in the sand like the government parties are doing right now at the moment and deny the fact and try and maintain this minimum wage, the longer we are going to have austerity, the longer we are going to have high and increasing unemployment rates. We need to accept the fact that it has to go. And for the simple fact of the matter is that there are men, mothers, fathers throughout this country that never worked for a minimum wage, yet worked hard and managed to raise a successful household, buy themselves their house and buy themselves what they wanted and what they needed. The minimum wage has to go. The 3% increase that's coming mandatory to all public servants, that is going to be stopped. You won't lose your salary, but you are not going to get an increase in your salary. We cannot afford it. It's as simple as that. It has to stop. And instead of cutting you all the time, we're just going to hold the salary. Full stop. Hold the salary. The whole purpose of what the government are saying to us is about job creation. That's what they tell us. Job creation, job creation, job creation. What are they doing for job creation? Nothing. They are helping the multinationals. We have seen in the last few years what the multinationals have done when the going gets tough. What do? They get up and they leave. The biggest multinational in this country is the self-employed person on the corner shop. The small individual employer that is hiring 4, 5, 6, 10 staff. Collectively, we are the biggest multinational in this country. Yet what do we get? We get no help, no assistance. We're not asking for much. We're trying to give you the ideas as to how you can help us. By helping us, we're helping you, and we're saving the country millions, which is what we're going to do. The small self-employed person is not looking for much, but we are just looking for some sort of help. Give us some sort of a tax break, because we're not going to get up and go off to other countries where we can get cheaper staff and cheaper personnel. We want to stay here, but it is so hard for anybody who is self-employed now at the moment, where the owners are working 7 days a week, 14, 16 hours a day, just to maintain the staff that they have. We are doing everything possible to keep going, but you are squashing us. And what you have done over the last 4 or 5 years of budgets is testament to that, because nothing has improved. So you need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, we're actually wrong. Nobody is going to mind a politician who's going to turn around and say, we actually screwed up. And what you should do over that disability allowance that you tried to slash in half, you should actually be ashamed of yourselves. Do not say you're going to put it on hold while you come up with some other alternative way of raising the money. You should be absolutely ashamed of yourself that you went over after the disabled people of this country to say, by cutting your allowance, it'll actually encourage you to get a job. Are you for real? Are you absolutely serious? Are you clinically insane? Now listen, we're no fools. We understand that the IMF are forcing us to come up with this money. But you need to be strong enough as a government to turn around and say, dear IMF, do not touch our disabled. We refuse point blank to slash their allowances. We refuse point blank to slash the OAP allowances. Do not touch the elderly and do not touch the disabled. We'll get you the money, but we'll get it from somewhere else. We have been told over the last few days to say, people of Ireland, it is not your fault for the position we find ourselves. But we must be honest. A lot of us, we do have ourselves to blame. A lot of us overspend. A lot of us bought houses that we shouldn't have bought. A lot of us bought cars that we shouldn't have bought. A lot of us went in for a loan from the bank and they gave us more. They gave it to us, but we took it. So a lot of us are actually to blame. And we need to be honest with that fact. But they turn around and they say that the people that caused the real heartache, the builders, the developers, the speculators and the bankers are not going to be touched. Well, let me tell you this. The self-employed party will annihilate them. And this is what we'll do. There will be no salary over €185,000 for the top people in the banks. Now they'll turn around and they'll say, but that's not going to attract the proper person that we're looking for. Well, they paid salaries of over €500,000, €600,000, €700,000 and look at the muck that they got. So if paying top salary attracts that, no thanks. I'd much prefer to pay somebody a very, very good salary of about €185,000 to €200,000. That's a serious amount of money, and I guarantee you I'd find people that will go in and run the banks properly on that amount. All profits from banks are going to be withdrawn from them, taken off, because they won't make a single cent until this mess is cleaned up. Now we will encourage the banks to be making profit, but we will take every single cent off the banks that we have nationalised, because you, your mum, your dad, your husband, your wife, your brother or your sister, we will not continuously pay for the mess that these guys did. All the builders, all the speculators that were fraudulent in their doings throughout the Celtic Tiger, we're coming after you. And I don't care if it's unconstitutional. And I don't care if anything that I've said is unconstitutional. Because guess what? We'll change the constitution. Because nobody is going to get away with it. Honest, decent, hard-working people are sitting, looking at themselves day in, day out, wondering how in the name of God are they going to get through this. People are on the brink of collapse. People have collapsed. It is unfortunate people have committed suicide. Yet our government turn around and it just seems that nothing is being done to the main culprits of this. We will work hard and we will work extra to make up for the mess and the overspending that we did. But the people that created the bulk and the colossal losses, you will be made accountable for this. So in conclusion, I am not going to finish up with a cliched Irish phrase. I'm going to reiterate the point. What is being said here today needs to be said. We can deny it and we can pretend it doesn't exist, and we can keep going with the austerity measures that the government are implementing on us right now as we speak. They won't work. They are creating the biggest black economy ever. They have upped their drink. They have upped their cigarettes. And where are we going to buy them? People are going to go on the street and buy them. We are promoting crime by what we're doing. By increasing the VAT the way we've done, we will actually decrease the spend, which means your VAT intake next year is going to be even less again. What you are doing is wrong. You need to encourage spending. You need to encourage growth. Not cut it, not slash it. That gets us nowhere. People of Ireland, stick with me. Stick with my views and my opinions if you agree with me. If you do, share this video to all your friends, because there is only so much a man and a woman can take, and we have been pushed right up here to this point. There is a way out of this, but it is not the way the government are doing it to us right now at the moment. Cut, cut, cut will result in absolutely nothing. Only the same crap in 12 months' time. This is the address of the State of the Nation from the Self-Employed Party. And I hope that maybe one or two things I've said have touched a nerve with you watching. Thank you, and best of luck.